Hello friends, and welcome back to Mothership. Today I'm going to show you how I cook up delicious crispy skin pork belly on the Weber Kettle. Let's get started. Okay, what we have here is some pork belly with the skin on. Now unfortunately these are already cut into strips, but you know what? This is what I have to work with, so this is what we're going to use. Now honestly, the most important trick when you're doing pork belly, if you want a crispy skin, is honestly in the prep work. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get our pork skin, and we want to get some sort of poking machine. So this is specifically for pork skin. You can get it on Amazon, but if you have a toothpick and you want to go ham, you can use that. But the point here is to poke a whole bunch of little holes all over the skin side. Now with the skin poked all over, what we want to do now is actually get it salted down. So since these strips are obviously different sized, I'm going to actually do this kind of in two batches. And what we want to do is kind of make a little foil boat here. Because we want to salt the top of the skin, but we really don't want to salt the sides, and we don't want the sides to dry out in the fridge. So I'm just going to kind of cover up everything here, kind of like so. Similar to a duck recipe that I've done on here before, where you want the skin to stay dry in the fridge and you want the, meat itself to get marinated. What we want to do is basically cover everything except the top of the skin, just like so. And then what we want to do is completely coat the top of the skin in salt. It's going to draw out all the moisture, and it's going to really make it a lot easier to crisp up the skin. Honestly, we're not actually going to be eating any of the stuff we're putting on here, so you can really go ham, as it were, and coat this completely down with salt. It's going to come off in one sheet, and we're not actually going to eat it, so just cover all the skin in salt. And then this little packet goes directly into the fridge, and you can leave it there overnight. You can leave it there 2 days. I'm probably going to leave it there just 1 day, and we're going to cook these up tomorrow. But I'm going to take care of the other section of strips, and these are going to go directly into the fridge, like I said, until tomorrow. Okay, so it's actually 48 hours later. I didn't end up doing these last night, and we're going to do them tonight, which I think will be fine, giving them a little extra time to dry out. Now, I just took all the salt off the top of these. Obviously, you don't want to rinse them. You just want to get the salt off. And these are going directly onto my kettle. I have it set up indirect, but I also have a full chimney of charcoal in there. This is super hot. I want to get my grill really, really hot, and I want to get just the skin to crisp up. Then we'll come back, and we will bring these up to temp. But right now, skin's got a crisp. I'm going to try and push everything kind of together, protect it a little bit from, protect the meat itself from the heat. But right now, we just want this to be really, really hot and really just crisp up this skin. Put more charcoals on, do what you need to do, but we want this to be as hot as possible. We have been running for a little over 2 hours now, and I think these are ready to just finish off cooking. As you can see, the exterior on these is nice and crispy. They're actually starting to get a little dark, which means that I don't want them to crisp up any further. I think this is about as crispy as the skin I'm going to get. So what I want to do, I am going to try and get the temperature of the grill down, and then we're just going to slowly bring up the temp. So what I mean by that is I'll probably put some water on the coals over here, put out some of them, just to get the temperature down to a spot where I'm just going to slowly bring up the temp, but not continue to crust these up. As you can see, they're already getting a little dark, like I said. But what I really want is I want some grill marks, so I might, just pop one side down. This is the side that was exposed to the heat. I might just, have this sit there for a little bit, roast up a bit. But as you can tell, I was flipping these around pretty extensively throughout the cook. I just wanted to make sure that no side got too roasted. But I mean, if you guys can hear that, that's a crispy skin. So now the goal is to bring them up to temp, and I'm looking for a temp of probably around, 195 degrees. This is showing an internal of 165. So we have quite a ways to go. All right, everything is probing nice and tender. We're north of 199. Some of these are 200. They look great. I can show you what we're working with here. Looks fantastic. I think it's time to get these inside and cut them up and see how we did. If you want at this point, like if you look at this piece right here, it doesn't have a nice grill mark. If you want it, you could, just throw it on top of the fire for a couple seconds. That'll crisp her up. It's not necessary at all. We are probably going to use these, honestly, for tacos. But, yeah, I think I'm going to pull them off, get them inside, let them rest for a couple minutes, and then we'll cut in and see how we did. Now, the real trick to make crispy skin pork belly, honestly, is in the prep. You have to get all that moisture out even before it goes on to whether you're using the grill or your stove or basically anything. But if you do it correctly, you come out on the other side with skin that makes that noise, which is exactly what you're looking for. Now, pork belly is a really good appetizer, honestly. If you're doing a cookout, just toss some toothpicks in there, get some sauces, and let people just grab what they want. For us, we are going to be cubing these up and throwing them onto tacos. But before we do that, that'll be kind of for us. For you guys, I think we need to do a taste test. This is a very crispy exterior, obviously. Pork belly was cooked to a little bit over 200 degrees, so it's all rendered nice and deliciously. And I'm gonna give it the old-fashioned chomp. Now guys, I tend to mute myself when I'm taking the chomp or just after the chomp because I have a very clicky jaw and I don't want you guys to hear that. But you have to hear the crunch on this. It is perfect. That's exactly what you want for your pork belly. Now when you're choosing pork belly to do this way, I tend to want to get the full slab and then cut it up myself once it's done. That way it's a little bit easier to make sure everything's uniform temperature. But this is the only option that I had to get them already cut into strips. And I'll be honest, it came out exactly as good as I wanted to. Everything is really crispy. These are absolutely delicious. Can be really, really good on some tacos. Guys, if you've never made this before, it's really not that difficult. Honestly, the trick is just to start from a good spot, which is to take your strips, put a whole bunch of salt on them, put in your fridge, let that kind of moisture be pulled out through the skin, and then when you go to either fry it up, broil it, or cook it on your grill, it'll get nice and crispy. But I would love to hear down below, what are your methods to get crispy skin pork? Do you guys broil them? Do you use a flamethrower? What do you do? And as always, guys, cook some incredibly fantastic, and I'll see you on the next UFO barbecue. Bye-bye.